Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter. In a quiet New Jersey community, a mother of four takes steps she hopes will help keep her safe. For a moment, it may have seemed that things were moving in the right direction. But weeks later, police respond to a home in Swedesboro. And as investigators begin piecing together what happened, they find that the story did not begin that morning. It began weeks earlier. This is the story of Tomeka Kamwani. Tomeka Kamwani was 41 years old. She was a nurse, a mother of four, and according to family members, her children were her world. To those who knew her, remembered a woman who spent much of her life caring for other people, at work, at home, and in her community. To her family, Tomeka was a daughter, a mother, a friend, long before she became a news story. But by early 2026, concerns that had once been private were beginning to enter the court system, and the events of the weeks ahead would change everything. In the weeks before her death, Tomeka Kamwani took action. On February 14, 2026, according to court records cited by reports, she obtained a temporary restraining order against her former fiancé. The court filing offered a look into concerns that had been building. In court filings, Tomeka stated that she believed he had been following her, including to a friend's home. These were not concerns that emerged overnight, and once they entered the court system, they became part of a timeline that would soon draw even more attention. Because in the days that followed, the situation would reportedly escalate. On February 21st, 2026, multiple reports say Tomeka's former fiancé was arrested. Authorities allege that he had violated the restraining order. Reports indicate he was accused of entering Tomeka's home and assaulting her. The case quickly moved into court. Prosecutors sought to keep him detained while the case proceeded. The request was denied. He was released pending trial. At the time, few could have known that the hearing would take on a different significance, one that family members would later point to as they searched for answers. For the next several weeks, Tomeka continued working, continued caring for her children. Less than 6 weeks after Tomeka obtained a temporary restraining order, just weeks after the events that brought the case into court, then came the early morning hours before sunrise. Police would be called to a home in Swedesboro, a home where a family's life was about to change forever. At the home, officers found Tomeka Kamwani with gunshot wounds. The 41-year-old was pronounced deceased, but she was not the only person found there. Also at the scene was a man with a gunshot wound. Authorities would later report that the injury appeared to be self-inflicted. He too was pronounced deceased. For Tomeka's family, the news was devastating. Someone they loved was gone. As more details became public, reporting later revealed that 2 of Tomeka's children were inside the home when the shooting occurred. In the days that followed, family members spoke publicly about their loss, about their shock, and about the questions they were left trying to answer. Questions that would continue long after March 28th. In the days that followed, a vigil was held to honor Tomeka Kamwani. Family members, friends, and community members gathered to celebrate her life. Remembering her sister, Lakeisha Brooks said her patients would call her even after the fact, even after they left the facility. The comment offered insight into the impact Tomeka had on others. For many, the loss was deeply felt by people who knew her, worked with her, and cared about her. As family members continued speaking publicly, they returned to the events of the weeks before March 28th, to the restraining order, to the arrest, and to the court proceedings that followed. Tomeka's aunt, Barbara Brooks Fouts, said, "It's a shame he had to do that. That's about all I can think about. Why would he want to do that? People break up." Her words captured the questions her family was left trying to understand. Investigators have said the case remains under investigation. For Tomeka's family, many questions remain. Our thoughts are with Tomeka Kamwani's children, family, friends, and loved ones. Sharing her story helps make sure she is remembered. For more cases and updates, follow Hunting for Answers. You can also connect with us through our Facebook group and find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, if there's a story you believe deserves attention, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.